Well, welcome back. Joining us in the studio this week, we have Mr. Claude Nelson, who is the Maryland DARE coordinator, and Lieutenant Steve Thomas, who's with, of course, our county police department. Gentlemen, welcome to Week in Review. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, good.
A little cold.
Yeah,
wet.
just a little. So today we're talking all about DARE. Give us an overview. What's DARE stand for? What's the mission statement for DARE?
The acronym DARE actually stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education, which at one time was the curriculum and the delivery system. Today it's the delivery system utilizing uniformed, specially trained police officers to deliver a curriculum in the classroom. The curriculum is actually REAL, R-E-A-L, which stands for refuse.
Educate? No.
You can't refuse education. Explain.
No, I thought it was like another,
These are resistance, these are strategies that kids learn that they can use. Refuse, explain, avoid, and leave.
I figured
okay.
L was leave.
Yeah, and it's also keeping it real.
Keep
Yes.
it
We
real.
all want to keep it real.
That's the name of
I
the
like
curriculum.
it.
Keep it real in
I
the
like
field.
it. And of course, the program, we have DARE because we want to educate students, and also any other mission statements that you consider part of DARE.
Actually, the mission statement is to give students the tools and skills they need to avoid drugs and other risky behaviors that are out there. It really is about teaching them positive decision-making skills.
Very good.
One of the things I was very taken aback by, I wasn't expecting, when we announced last week that Anne Arundel County was going to start a pilot and bring back the DARE program, there was a lot of naysaying out there, a lot of, oh, this doesn't work, why are you doing it, this and that. My understanding is that the curriculum has changed, and I think you touched on that. It used to be, don't do drugs, kids, and now it's, well, here are some ways you can remove yourself from a situation that may end up getting you in trouble. Is that kind of right, or?
It's pretty fair.
How is it different?
The biggest difference, and we get asked this constantly, is that in the original curriculum, that was written and owned by Los Angeles Unified School District. They wrote it for their needs at the time, back in the early 80s. And that was the program that was being delivered. And then after the curriculum specialist who wrote it and held the copyright, when she retired, she gave the rights to DARE America. And then we were able to look for a curriculum that was actually research-based. The original curriculum was not research-based, was not scientific at all. This curriculum is, and it's keeping it real.
Got it.
I like it.
Now, LT, tell us a little bit about where Anne Arundel County Police come in. How does this get rolled out? Where are we doing it?
So we're starting a pilot in 4 schools: Annapolis Middle School, Bates Middle School, Corcoran Middle School, and Lindale Middle School. In total, it's about 1,200 children are going to be taught by 8 officers who are all specially trained. They went up to the training commission, were trained there, and it's pretty intensive training to go through.
Is it once a week?
Oh, sorry.
The classes it depends on the school.
Okay.
So the children are going in their advisory periods in the middle schools. It's going to be all 6th grade. At Bates, their advisory is an hour long, so they'll be there on Mondays. At Annapolis, Corcoran, and Lindale, their advisories are half-hour long, so the curriculum's an hour a week, so they'll be spending 2 days, a half hour each day at those schools.
Got it.
Very good. Now, what happens next? How does this work for kids?
Well, really, it's to build a relationship with officers. We in the police department, we've brought back a lot of programs to build that relationship with the community. We now have YAP program that was dissolved years ago. We again have PAC officers, which are the PAC is policing community together. And it's really for the children and their families to build a relationship with the department when in positive times, and for the officers to be there and to work with the children to make good decisions.
See, that's my thing. I think it's common sense, right? I mean, this is pretty common sense stuff. It's like, regardless of what the curriculum is and what the numbers are, it's a good thing to have kids interacting with police officers at a young age, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer. That's why it's hard to really understand the pushback on this. But I think, and especially when we have almost 200 people die of a heroin overdose last year in Anne Arundel County alone. So you got to do everything you can, right? You have a responsibility.
Absolutely. I look at it, if we save one child's life, it's worth it.
Right.
And really, and part of it for me is when we go out, when we do have to make notification to a family member after a fatal overdose, it's heart-wrenching for that family. And if we can stop one family from going through that, the program's a success.
Agreed.
So, and that's something I was going to ask about, is considering the issues that we're having right now with opioids and abuse, has the training and the resources been altered because of the specific issue right now that we're experiencing?
There actually is a specific online opioid class that people can go to. Claude wants to go more into it, but it's a class that anyone can go on the DARE website and take.
Very good.
And actually, I should mention, you probably already know this, but we have a lady named Jen Corbin with the Mobile Crisis for Anne Arundel County. Crisis Response, excuse me, she's going to get me for that. And she does a really good talk at these Not My Child presentations about the avoidance stuff that you mentioned. And one of the ones I think is really smart is you bring a McDonald's cup with you to the party. And you could have water in it, you could have whatever in it, and whenever somebody tries to hand you something, you're like, I'm good. You know, you could even say, I got this in it, I got that. They don't know, so that way you're not getting yourself in a situation where kids are making fun of you or whatever, and at the same time you're not, you know.
Well, think about it. How often do you offer someone a drink if they have a drink?
You don't.
So it's exactly that. They're not even offered a lot of times because they assume that there's something, that they have a drink in their cup.
Yeah, that's smart stuff. And then I think another one she had was to have codes with your parents that you can text them, and the text is some sort of code word like, I don't know, I can't think of it.
Raspberry.
Raspberry. Good one, Kristen. Raspberry, and that means
Absolutely.
come get me. Like they're, I need help.
It's to work for the parents to have that relationship with their children. If their children need help, that they can ask for help from the parents. The parents are going to be there for them with no questions asked. And it's the ability to go in and say, hey, I'm not comfortable where I am, come get me. They can text their address where they are. And then with that code word saying, come get me. The same thing is the parent can then respond back and saying, hey, I need you to come, or call them and say, we're coming to get you, we need you for something or whatever. But it is ability for the child to avoid that circumstance that they're in and get out of it.
Very good. And in addition, speaking about the parents' involvement here, we're talking about the student to police relationship.
Absolutely.
Is there also that kind of resource for parents as well with the rollout of the new DARE?
We have a lot of different initiatives where we're working to build that relationship. It goes along with the Not My Child. Yeah. Really, with Not My Child, we encourage that the nighttime meetings, or for the assembly, whatever you want to call it, for the parents to come with their children. And we have these conversations with them together so that they build that, help with that relationship.
Yeah. And Claude, you said that years ago, Anne Arundel County was one of the biggest DARE chapters.
It was the largest.
It was the largest in Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, Anne Arundel County alone was reaching about 36,000 kids a year.
Including,
that's more than what
right
we
here,
have right now.
Right here,
exactly.
We have a star graduate right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Davidsville Elementary, class
hey,
of 95.
It worked for her.
It was in every elementary school.
Yeah.
And that's when it was a 17-lesson curriculum. Now it's 10 lessons.
Okay. Well, I like the fact that I think it's very practically oriented. I really like, and it's like you said, we've had all these Not My Child presentations. If the parent doesn't go, then the kid isn't going to learn these tips of the trade. And now it's in the school, so they're going to be there and they're going to get that information that they wouldn't get normally. So
even these officers who are going to be at the middle school, DARE is all-encompassing. It's a K through 12 curriculum for kids, for young people. There's also a parent and community program that goes along with it that's available, that if the officers have the time and the resource to be able to provide that.
Okay.
Very good. Well, folks out there interested in whether they're a teacher, a parent, or a student that wants more information on DARE, what's the best way to reach out?
DARE America has a website that pretty much everything we have available is talked about or available online, and that is www.dare.org. They can go there. If they want to reach out someplace locally, they can call my office at the Police and Correctional Training Commission, and that number is 410-875-3426.
Well, we thank you both for all that you're doing for our county and helping improvement and helping with reaching out to these children. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on the show this week.
We'll have you back to see how you did.
That would be
There we
great.
go.
We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Don't go anywhere.